Good evening. This is the Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021 meeting of the Joliet City Council. Mayor Robert Odekirk presiding. We will have an invocation by Father Chris Grow from St. Mary Magdalene, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Blessed are you, Lord God of all creation. We are grateful for the countless favors you bestow and give thanks for your many and abundant blessings. God of wisdom and justice, may your enlightenment be with all who are elected to serve our community in public office. Guide and support our mayor, the members of our city council, our city manager, and our city staff. Give them the strength to know your will so that all they do may be done with a will to please you. God of comfort and healing, hear our prayers during this pandemic for the sick, for healthcare workers, for first responders, for researchers, and for scientists. Grant them strength to meet everyday challenges. Bring your peace, Lord, to the world surrounded by uncertainty and fear. Give our society the ability to work together to overcome division and misunderstanding. May all be willing to reach out with a commitment to care for the well-being of our neighbors and those most vulnerable to the COVID-19 virus. We pray to you, our eternal and merciful Lord, one God, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Father Chris.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Odekirk.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman Landy.
Here. I'm sorry.
Councilman Morris.
Here. I can't hear over here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
Before we move to the approval of the agenda, it's important to note that on tonight's agenda, award of contracts, amendments, change orders, and payments have been added to the consent agenda section. Just a reminder, the consent agenda allows council to approve all items together in this section without discussion or individual motions. And council members can request to have these items removed from the consent agenda section to be voted on separately. This request would be appropriate at the pre-council meeting or prior to the approval of the agenda. I did receive one request this evening to remove Council Memo 62-21 position vacancies from consent agenda to be voted on separately. Are there any other items? So with no others, is there a motion to approve the agenda as written with the following change? Remove Council Memo 62-21 position vacancies from consent agenda to be voted on separately.
So moved.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Landy.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Motion carried. First on the agenda this evening is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none, we'll move to council committee reports. First is Public Safety Committee report.
Public Safety met here at 6 o'clock in council chambers. Present was Councilman Landy. Councilman Hug was stuck at a meeting with his for his job, and so he was not in attendance, and myself. Also, the new chief, Don Malik, was here with Deputy Chief Mike Bettye and David Brainer from IT. Did I miss anybody? I think that was good. Okay, we talked about the Axon Taser software final contract, and it's a 4-year contract, and this is part of the less lethal force thing that we rolled out about a month ago. And we currently now have 240 working tasers, and they will coexist with the Axon Fleet Services. And this whole contract is included. It'll be 80% less maintenance than what we have now, and will come with everything as far as batteries and chargers, et cetera. And then furthermore, it comes with a virtual reality training software. And then also added is Axon Citizen. And what that is, for example that was given, does everybody remember the terrible bombing in New York City where the pipe bomb during the marathon? And the police department put out an all call for anybody that had videotape, would they please, send it? So it took a lot of work for them to gather all those videotapes. Well, with the Axon Citizen, for example, if I was out and there was a theft going on and there was a police altercation with the robber or robberies, whoever it was, and I'm there as a citizen taking video, you can already upload that to, send it right into the Axon Citizen, so that the police department can review that. And it would also be a huge help with, things on the street, because I know a lot of people videotape everything and then they don't know what to do with it. They keep it or they put it on Facebook, and this way they can upload it right to the city of Joliet and the police department. It was also part of records management, and so is there anything David, did I miss anything else that you want to explain?
I think you got it.
We got it all?
Yeah.
Okay, so the cost of the whole thing is, it's a 4-year taser software tool contract to Axon for the amount of $3,531,000. And part of this, includes records management, which will be in place so that when we do get the body cams, that will be part of that, what do you want to call it? Part of the records. So overall, that part is 2.2 million, and then it's 449,000 for the first year, and then it'll go up if we get with the records management. So actually, it's the whole package. It's the taser and the records management and the training, virtual reality, and we'll be current. So that will be on the next council meeting, I believe, for all the services, that amount of money. Any questions? That was a lot to say. Okay, thank you so much.
Public Service Committee report.
Public Service met here at City Hall yesterday at 4:30. In attendance with myself and Councilman Morris. Councilwoman Gavin was under the weather and unable to attend. We had a very, very short agenda. There was only 3 contracts. Predominantly, the items on our agenda really are addressing the ongoing improvement of our water and our sewer system. So we did approve or recommend for approval, engineering contract, professional services agreement with Baxter and Woodman for the 2022 water system rehabilitation program. That ties into the new water source and what we need to do to reduce lost water. We bought some meters and equipment for about $168,000, as we do 3 or 4 times a year for our meters to the homes. So we looked at that. We had a request for authorization for an amendment to Hamilton Consulting Engineers, an amount of $13,130 to do with the project on Essington Road and Jefferson Street. And we looked at that. There was one change order pay estimate that we looked at, and again, all these items will be on the council agenda tonight in the consent portion of the agenda. And then under ordinance and resolutions, we had 2 items. There were 2 properties on Jefferson that we needed to get easements from, and we did. We got an easement agreement to accept the easement. That would help us with our 2020 sanitary sewer point project. Other than that, it was a very short agenda. Did I miss anything, Terry?
No, sir.
All right, all of the items on there, like I said, will be a part of the consent agenda tonight, and all of them were unanimously voted to be sent to the full council with recommendation for approval. And that's my report, Mayor.
Mayor, if I may, I just wanted to add, I was remiss. I just wanted to congratulate the IT, David Brainer, and also Deputy Chief Mike Bettye, because they worked on this contract and all these items for quite a few months, so kudos to those two.
Okay.
I show no other reports. Under consent agenda, approval of the minutes, it's recommended the minutes of the special council meeting held on November 19th, 2020, special council meeting held on December 17th, 2020, and the minutes of the combined council meeting held on January 19th, 2021, stand approved as recorded. Council Memo 62-21 was previously removed from consent agenda. Council Memo 63-21, professional services agreement for the 2022 water system rehabilitation program with Baxter and Woodman in the amount of $998,500. Council Memo 64-21, purchase water metering equipment from Core and Main in the amount of $168,355. Council Memo 65-21, Amendment Number 3 to the preliminary engineering agreement with CSX Transportation for the Hobart Road, Hollywood Road Railroad crossing widening in the amount of $8,000. Council Memo 66-21, Amendment Number 5 to the professional services agreement for the Essington Road, Jefferson Street Interceptor Sewer Project to Robert E. Hamilton Consulting Engineers in the amount of $13,130. Council Memo 67-21, payments for emergency repair for the city-owned building at 141 East Jefferson Street. It's recommended Council Memo 63-21 through 67-21 be approved. Is there a motion to approve said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Landy.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Moving back to Council Memo 62-21, position vacancies. It's recommended the city manager be authorized to fill one economic development communications manager position and any subsequent vacancies which may occur.
So moved.
I would, Mayor, I'm the one that requested it be broke out of the consent agenda. I just wanted to explain why. This is not an existing position, so if we do approve it tonight, then we also have to come back later and approve a budget amendment because it wasn't in the budget. We still are on a very restricted budget, and we're still going through COVID, and we have a number of positions throughout the city departments that are very important that, of course, we put zero funding in. We even have a position in the Economic Development Director that our current Director of Economic Development Department, that our current developer vacated, director vacated when he was promoted to be the Director of Economic Development. So there are a number of positions, and I think that actually adding a new position, creating a new position out of whole cloth is not the right time to do it, and even budget amendments should only be done in an emergency.
Motion on the floor?
There was a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve Council Memo 62-21 position vacancies, authorizing the city manager to fill one economic development communications manager position and any subsequent vacancies. Councilman Landy.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
No.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
No.
Motion carried 6-2. Under ordinances, Council Memo 69-21, an ordinance authorizing a settlement agreement regarding property acquisition on Better Road. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Landy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under resolutions, Council Memo 71-21, a resolution authorizing staff to apply for a certified local government grant. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin, Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman Landy,
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 72-21, a resolution accepting a public utility easement from 105 Nicholson Street for the 2020 sanitary sewer point repair project. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman Landy,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 73-21, a resolution accepting a public utility easement for 509 Jefferson Street for the 2020 sanitary sewer point repair project. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman Landy,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 74-21, a resolution amending the lease for the use of DuPage Medical Group Stadium. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been
Second.
motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Turk,
This is for 1 year, correct? Is it the agreement?
Yes,
For 1 year, okay.
yes, it is.
Okay.
No,
I'll-
it's actually retroactive, so it's for 2020 and
Right,
2021.
right. I think it's a unique opportunity, though, as long as it's for 1 year, that we have a chance now to get some affiliated baseball because of changes in the Major League Baseball rules. And hopefully we can attract that. And also the fact that Kane County has closed up and they've lost their team. So hopefully we'll get some people from that market area too. So I vote aye.
Councilwoman Gavin, Councilman Hug,
No.
Councilman Landy,
Yeah, as long as it's a limited period of time, I'll say aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman,
No.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Motion carried 6-2.
Krista, if I could say, I agree with the comments by Councilman Turk. We're in a unique opportunity here. Thank you, Slammers. I know it was difficult like you for every other business owner, but you certainly put in a good effort forward, trying to make things work, and we're happy to be partners in this. So thank you.
Next is the city manager's report.
As you know, we've had many water main breaks here recently, so we're working our way through that. Unfortunately, we have a lot worse weather coming up here over the weekend, so as much as we try to be proactive about these things, we may anticipate full well that we may have more water main breaks. We have not done, the mayor pointed out to me that we did not have a good way of relaying information to the citizens as to who's, what to do, when they can expect things. Now that I'm here, we have implemented some new things, and we're kind of having a spiral staircase, so to speak, of information sharing, so that each department will be able to put something on their website, it'll be hyperlinked. So we'll have it on the city website, we'll have it on the Joliet City Facebook page, so that we can get the information out. Additionally, we'll be using the texting system that I would encourage citizens to sign up for, because it's critical to make sure that we can get information to you, information like this. That's so important to people, because people are out there without able to, flush toilets, take a shower, just some very, very basic necessities, which is just awful. So, but we anticipate having the water up and operational by tomorrow morning, depending on the preliminary or the precautionary boil order will be removed at that time. So again, you know, just a tough break here, but the crews have been working tirelessly here, so.
Hey, Jim, along those lines, thank you for bringing it up. Last night, obviously, with the water going out again, it happened about 7:30 or so in the evening, and I started getting phone calls or requests on my Facebook page. People want to know what was going on. Last night, there was no mechanism to tell the people of Joliet what was going on with the water. So I'm glad that we're gonna correct this on the Facebook and on the website. We have to stay proactive in a situation like that. There was no one here at City Hall to answer the questions. I don't think the police dispatchers were prepared to answer the questions of what was going on. I do want to thank Jay Rivera, who did answer my questions. He was on site, but took my phone call and filled me in, and I was able to pass on the information on my Facebook page as best we can. But I'm glad we're going to correct that. I think the same issue was over the weekend with people who had issues with snow or cars in the street or snow plowing, that there was no one answering their questions or answering their calls until Monday morning.
You're right, Mayor. Again, I had always imagined that the city kind of had these kind of policies in place. They did not, and we're going to correct that. That's why we're here, and we're going to move forward. And I got full buy-in from the staff. I don't think anybody thinks that this is a bad idea or any pushback, because it makes such total sense to do this. So we're gonna look at how we do that, how we conduct that business to make it more responsive to our citizens.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is new business, not for final action or recommendation.
Terry?
Yeah, I just was trying to get a little more clarification on the taser. So I know the committee, had discussed this. So would that be at our next council agenda? Is it to be voted on?
Yes.
Jim, okay. And then is there any update on the grant from the federal government on the body cams, and where do we go from there on the body cam? Since we kind of got the tasers taking care of the contract.
Well, Deputy Chief has a grant writer, and they're working on it right now. The grant will be, if we get it's awarded, it'll be in March. The grant will be awarded in March. But
Okay.
we were kind of looking at some other funding to probably get that, because we will be mandated by the state to get those in 2 years. But that bill hasn't been signed yet, but I see it coming down the road. So it's a long process.
Right. But I'm sure we're not going to wait on to be mandated to get.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Hopefully we'll
okay.
get the grant in March.
Right. And if not, then like you say, you work on some other funding.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's correct, Councilman Morris. We're looking at the funding issue. We're trying to get aggressive here with fielding these cameras as quickly as possible. So we hope to have some movement here very quickly.
Okay. Thanks, Jan. Thanks, Jan.
Just a correction on the grant. The grant opening, I'm sorry. The grant opening is in March. The awards are done in May.
Oh.
And
That's
so
not what they told me.
we're certainly trying to position ourselves so we can get in when the grant opens itself. I talked to Deputy Chief, and he does have the grant writer, as Councilwoman said, on the case. And so we're just trying to make sure we are ready for that opportunity when it opens in March.
It's this March,
Yes.
Yes.
so, I mean, it's really right around the corner, so this is coming quite fast, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
So, and like I said, I'm getting all the information together right now. I think we'll be able to roll out something here shortly. So we're trying to fast track a lot of this.
And I'd like to take a moment, if I can, to thank the hardworking people of Joliet, our staff that are out there 20, 30 hours shoveling snow, plowing snow. They did a yeoman's job. Was it perfect? Probably not. There might have been a street miss, there might have been something, but again, worst snowstorm in 6 years, I think, 5.5 years. I was out there myself, and I talked to Councilman Morris, and I think overall it was a really tremendous effort. I'd also shout out to Allison, who texted me at 11 and texted at 6 in the morning, doing everything she can on the water. Again, the weather's gonna get worse, we're well below zero. We can expect more, but our people are on it the best they can. And I want to appreciate all their hard work. I really do.
Right. I think Greg Ruddy and his staff did a tremendous job responding. They put in, like you had mentioned, long hours. And certainly, I appreciate that, as do the citizens. So.
Terry, any more new business?
No, sir.
Larry?
Yeah, just anybody have any more information? Now, of course, I didn't read all 613 pages, of the bill that's on the governor's desk that would mandate these cameras and other things. But in the portion of the reading I did, it did allude to state grants for this and said that if you didn't get them, you wouldn't be qualified. Was that a generalization, or is there any information about specific grants that the state are going to, so it's not an unfunded mandate? Does anybody know?
I believe that was just, that's something they're talking about doing, because I realize that it is unfunded mandate, but there has been no funds allocated against any grant money. That's not quite the law of the state right now. So I imagine at some point they'll put some grant money towards that, but I don't know what that, I even know what that looks like, to be frankly honest with you, Councilman.
And one other question, I don't even remember the gentleman's name. We have an interim that took over from Mr. Joliet as the roadways manager. Have we hired a permanent yet?
No, we have not.
Okay, so we're still in process?
Yes.
That's all I have.
Tim,
No.
Mike?
I don't know if this is new business, Jim, but, you know, the COVID numbers are looking a lot better than they were even a month ago. You know, in Will County and Illinois, and the people are getting vaccinated here in Joliet area. So at some point in time, are we going to reopen Bettye Park and schedule some concerts on the hill and things like that?
Well, certainly as we move forward to get open as rapidly as we can, it's not necessarily our ability to open Bettye Park, it's the state mandates, as those numbers come down overall. The fire department here has done a tremendous job vaccinating. They got over 200 folks done today. We expect those numbers to increase here shortly. I'm gonna be on the phone tomorrow with the governor's office trying to get additional vaccinations sent down to Will County, and then from Will County over to the fire department, so we can rapidly get as many vaccines out as we can. We believe that we can do about 500 to 1,000 folks a day, given the resources to the vaccines, actually. So, which is great, and the city of Joliet is really moving out on this, and we're not waiting around for these things to happen. So, I encourage folks to make sure you're on the waiting list, and we'll try to get to you as quickly as we can. The thing that's holding us back right now is the number of vaccines we've been allowed to get.
All right, thank you, thank you.
You're
Herb,
welcome.
new business?
No.
Pat?
No.
Jerry? Betty? No. I have a couple things. Regarding the snow plowing, I concur with your statements, Councilman. I think they did a fantastic job. Those, street department crew came out about 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon and worked through until late Sunday night to clear the streets. There were a number of complaints that come in, there always is in snowstorms. Some of them had merit, I think, specifically about the cul-de-sacs. Because it was such a long snow, it took longer than normal for our contractors to get into the cul-de-sacs, and there were people who were snowed into their house for an extended period of time. So I'm gonna speak with Greg Ruddy, see if again, this is an unusual snow, it wasn't the typical one. But I do understand the neighbors' complaints, if they can't get out of their house for 12 or 14 or 24 hours. I spoke with one man, him and his wife are small business owners, and they couldn't get to their business, so that's an issue. The other one, which has been coming up more and more, and it's a little frustrating to me, but the ordinance against parking cars on the street. When that came down when Mr. Thanis was the city manager, and it was somewhat controversial at the time, I believe then, as I do now, that maybe different areas of the city should be treated differently. If areas don't have off-street parking, I don't know where those residents are supposed to put their cars. But having said that, when we passed that ordinance, we created an expectation with the people of Joliet that cars were gonna be off the streets when it snows. We all know that's not happening. I don't know, and we can get the numbers about tickets being issued, but I think we have to do one or the other. Either we have to commit to enforcing that ordinance, or we should repeal it or modify it. Because as it is now, I've received a number of complaints where people are frustrated that there's 3 or 4 cars on their block. Those cars weren't ticketed, the plows have to go around them. And people are angry because they believe the city of Joliet should have those cars off the street. So I don't have the answer. Maybe it should go to the Public Safety Committee or Public Service Committee to vet it. But I think we need to do something. The status quo seems to be aggravating people more than they were before that ordinance was passed. So that's something, I guess it's for new business, something I'd like to consider. But that's all I have.
And I think it's extremely complicated, Mayor, because my nephews live on Kathy and Hobel, okay, all right? And if there's more than one car on the side, the plow can't get through. It's too narrow, can't get through. And I see the neighbors on the other side, they have 4 cars, 2 in the garage, 2 in the driveway, and any other car. There's just, it's really complicated. Where do you put the cars? If there's no, where do you put them? So, yeah, we ought to work together on getting that done right.
Next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening?
Hello everyone, Cesar Guerrero, Joliet, Illinois, 60432. So I just would like to enter into the record the emergency alert system that was mentioned. I just thought it was a bit odd to bring it up, but not give clarification on how residents can access that system. So to clarify, visiting the Joliet city website, there's an alert up at the top, emergency event updates. That's not quite the link that we're looking for. So it takes a little bit of time to actually find where the link is, and eventually it will lead you to a hyperlink that says click here to enroll, which will lead you to download the Everbridge application. I believe, is that the emergency alert system that we're looking for? So glad to hear that that's up and running, that hopefully that will be put to use in a much greater capacity. So I was excited for that. I think that's a step in the right direction. Just would, if at all possible, make it a little bit easier to access that, so that when you go to the city website, it's very clear up front, because I look for it now as I was sitting listening to everything that was being said, and it does take a little bit of work to find it. So if we can make that more accessible for the residents to actually use and put that system into place, I think that would be helpful for everyone in the city. So that's it for today.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak under public comments?
How y'all doing, council, mayor? Well, it's glad to see everybody kind of getting along now, so that's a good step in the right direction. We appreciate the progress that y'all making, especially with the police department, and no matter how many times I come down here and rag on you about the body cameras, I got faith that y'all will get it done. So, you'll get to it. But what we forgetting is how we got here to begin with. Has anybody thought about Javier Escada? Have y'all tried to help him out of his situation at all? Because it all started with him as to how people started to come down here. It's an injustice that needs to be corrected. You know what I mean? So we cannot forget the fact that this man is simply standing over there because we had some jackass chief of police who had an axe to grind because he felt like he spoke out of turn. This man's freedom and his career is on the line. So I think that the council and the city as a whole needs to do more to get him out of that situation. So what I would like to see is for y'all to make some calls, write some letters, sign them, do something to help this man get himself back on track. Because had it not been from here, I don't think we ever could have got the traction that we needed to get the progress that we have now. So it's just a suggestion, but I'm thinking that that's something that kind of needs to be corrected. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Hello, Susanna Ibarra, Joliet, 60433. I just want to say that I did read the article about the Citizen Police Review Board. I reject that first proposal. It was done with no community input at all. I'm not surprised the police and Chris Regis helped script that Citizens Review Board, without any community input. And also the City of Chicago Water. The City of Chicago also has a COPA board, Citizens Accountability Board. And the people that are appointed to that board are people that have suffered at the hands of police. There is a gentleman, Mark Clemens, 20 years, he was behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. Those are the kinds of people that you put on the Citizens Review Board. And that's all I have to say. Great job on the snow. Amazing job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Good evening. I am pleased with the the increased focus and aggressiveness towards acquiring body cams, and I am looking forward to tomorrow's legislative committee meeting. But moving into these topics, I would just like to remind the city, specifically City Council, the degree of upheaval that we have had in getting to these things. We had a 4-hour meeting on these topics going on 6 months ago. And we've had several changes in seats, several changes in positions go on within the city council, and outside. And I'm excited for the things that are going on, but I am apprehensive in what's going on because of the past. I echo Susie's statements that there was not a whole lot of public input that went into this decision. And I'm just cautious. I'll be here tomorrow, but I'm very cautious. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments this evening? If none, we'll move to mayor and council comments.
Terry?
No, sir.
Larry? No. Jim?
Yeah, not enough credit's been given to Deputy Chief Carey from the fire department. He really put this whole thing together out of Joliet West, and last couple of days it was a trial, but it's really been going smooth. And like city manager said, when things are up and running and we do get the vaccines, we will be able to do 500 to 1,000 people a day. And also compliments to and congratulations to the fire department, because they're out there volunteering on their days off. So they deserve a lot of credit for that, because that's what really got this thing going.
Mike?
Nothing.
I'm excited about the future, and I think things are going well. I'm very happy. I know a moment, you heard about 2 FBI agents killed today? You didn't hear about that?
Mm-hmm, I did.
A moment of silence for them and their families. 2 FBI agents serving war were killed today, 3 wounded, and our hearts go out to them. They're trying to, it's just heartbreaking. So our hearts to their family.
Nothing.
Jerry? Jerry?
I echo Jan's statements, and I also just want to say thank you, Jan, because you were out there donating your time doing the vaccination, so thank you.
Thank you, Sherry.
Betty?
Just want to bring, it's so rare that we get a good compliment. And so I just wanted to share this with my colleagues. A few years back, we set up an organization, our volunteers, to go out and shovel for our seniors. And I tell you, did they ever come in handy this time? I got calls from people who are signed up saying thank you, because they came, they cleaned these sidewalks off for them, and so it was a good feeling for me. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. There is some good news out there.
Okay, well, I'll echo that. I also got thanks for that. And Jim, that's something we talked about the last couple of years. It was an initiative that we started here a couple of years ago. Evanston does it. I think there's maybe one other Chicago community that does this. It's something I'd like to see some resources put towards. And it's specifically snow shoveling for seniors or people with disabilities. It's to clear their walkways so they can get in and out of their house, or people that can't care for themselves. It's gone very well, but I think it's something maybe we can invest a little bit in moving forward. Just food for thought.
Absolutely.
Again, thank you to our snowplow drivers and our mechanics that work those long hours. Again, basically 2 days straight to get our streets clear and keep the trucks up and running. Thank you to our water department employees, especially those that were out in the cold doing digs the last 2 nights or 2 days to repair water mains. Again, Jay Rivera, thank you for taking time to answer all my questions. And then finally, I don't know what other communities are doing with COVID, but I know what's happening here in Joliet. It's really a proud moment to go to Joliet West High School, see 20 fire department volunteers off duty, seeing nurses or retired nurses like Councilwoman Quillman volunteering, doctors volunteering, the school district, Joliet West administrators volunteering to start giving COVID shots out here in Joliet. The first phase will be with educators. They should be done with that by the end of next week, with the idea of getting people or getting our children back into school. And then we're gonna shift to senior citizens. It's a work in progress. It started slow, but the belief is that they can do 1,000 a day once they get up and rolling, maybe more. So the only thing limiting us right now is the number of vaccines that are available, and we are working on that. But I want to thank everyone who volunteered to put this together. I know 2 weeks ago, there were comments about the fire department and the health department not being able to lock up, but they are now. We're all rowing in the same direction. It's a great story for our city of Joliet, and it's gonna be great to get people vaccinated and save lives moving forward. And Jan, again, you were there for 2 days giving shots. I know you plan on doing it moving forward. On a personal note, thank you.
You're welcome. We'll be there till March, so thank you.
Thank you. And that's all I have tonight.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Motion seconded to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.